Well, it's that time of the year for year-end lists. 2023 was an interesting year for music. I have to say, making this top 10 list of songs was challenging. Last year, I'd really struggled to have enough songs for the list. This year, it broke my heart actually putting some on the honorable mentions. The charts were heated this year. We had a few sleeper hits and surprises. It was an improvement overall from 2022 sonically for me. The following are my ranked list of pop hits that showed some form of longevity and impact on the Billboard Hot 100 or critically, so basically they either had to have been in the top 40 of the charts or been nominated for a Grammy. Like last year, there's going to be an honorable mention section right before we talk about number 1, where I point out a couple more songs that probably would have made my list, were pretty close to making it, or just weren't hits. Here we go! Number 10. 2023 marked the 10th anniversary of the Bangers era and a huge revival for Miley Cyrus with Flowers, a song that debuted at number 1 and ruled the charts for 8 non-consecutive weeks. Co-produced by Kid Harpoon, fresh off an Album of the Year Grammy for Harry's House, this part rock, part disco jam is a self-love anthem about not needing someone's love. Fans speculated how the song tied to Cyrus's very public divorce from Gale from the Hunger Games, but its lasting power is its relatability. I Can Love Me Better Than You Can is a very simple, powerful lyric. It's up for 3 Grammys. Could Miley walk away with her first? It's very possible. Number 9. Troye Sivan has always been on the fringe of pop stardom, and this year he crossed the threshold with Rush. With a very slick, chanty, summery sound and a title inspired by an iconic poppers brand, Rush sees Troye Sivan embracing his status as the king of twinks and one of the few openly out queer pop stars who chart. This song actually hit the Hot 100 and even garnered 2 Grammy nominations, Sivan's first. What made me put this on the list is the fact that it's undoubtedly going to be a Pride Month classic and certainly a signature song for Troye Sivan. I was very tempted to put Got Me Started in its place, but I do think that Rush is going to be the one that's remembered more. One of Your Girls was also another one I considered, but, Rush takes it for me. Number 8. Of all the snubs this year at the Grammys, this one actually hurt me. Boy's a Liar Part 2 deserves some love. Pink Pantheress has really finally got herself a hit. Ice Spice's killer year started out with this hit collab. The contrast between the sweet and shy passion that Pink Pantheress really brings on this track and then Ice's brash and cold verse really makes this a well-rounded song that does everything well. It's very hooky and it's actually one of the few songs that does the Y2K sound very well. And it hit the top 3 earlier this year. If 2023 was Ice's year, I'm hoping that 2024 is a great year for Pink Pantheress, whose debut, Heaven Knows, is a lock for one of my best albums. Number 7.
Satanism thing is like, I'm sorry, when the fuck did I say that I was a Satanist?
Right.
This was a wild year for Doja Cat, who has been cancelled at least 9 times this year, but that did not stop her from scoring her first solo number 1 hit. Paint the Town Red kicked off its chart run at 15 and crawled its way to 3 weeks at number 1. Sampling Dionne Warwick's Walk On By, this defiant hip-hop track rebukes her detractors. This track has 2 killer hooks and verses made to get stuck in your head. That little section where she starts with "ugh" just hits for me. Only someone like Doja Cat could come up with lines like "fans ain't dumb but extremists are, I'm a demon lord," and still manage to sound effortlessly cool. I was really tempted to give this spot to Agora Hills, my personal favorite song off Scarlet, but I have a feeling that that song is going to make my 2024 list. She is still a hitmaker. Number 6. Olivia Rodrigo defeated the sophomore slump allegations with guts. She roared back into the pop world with Vampire, which debuted at number 1 and scored 3 Grammy nominations, but it was really Bad Idea Right that rocked my year. This chatty pop punk banger channels 90s pop rock and masterfully uses the call and response technique to engineer one of this year's best hits. The verses tell a very fun and playful story about getting back with an ex even if it's a bad idea. It's just fun, it's playful, it's dynamic, much like Rodrigo herself. I will say that I love her ballads, but when Olivia's allowed to rock out, that's when she's her strongest. I was very tempted to pick the more polished Get 'Em Back, but this one's more raw and killer down to that guitar solo. All American Bitch is probably going to be next year's hit. And can you believe it? We are at the halfway point. This coming number 5 forced me to change the rules. It's that good. I spent a good part of this year covering Lana Del Rey, and I think that she's overdue Grammy Gold. A&W, short for American Horror, like its parent album Ocean Boulevard, made my year. Jack Antonoff and Lana Del Rey came into that studio and recorded a future American classic. The first portion of the song is a raw folk ballad that is part social commentary, part character study. Lana just touches on the dark intricacies of being the other woman. She embraces her insecurities to outgrow her personal fears and trauma. It's very powerful. But then we get a second half, which fans have called Jimmy, and it's just this catchy trap beat and a throwback to her early Lizzie Grant days. You know, it's antithetical, catchy, nonsensical lyrics combined with the killer "Your mom called, I told her you're fucking up big time" lyric. That's what gives it an edge, you know. She's succumbed to her fate as the American whore. If it were up to me, I would give this song the Song of the Year Grammy. She deserves it. I changed my rules for the song. Like, it did not hit the top 40, but it deserved to be here. Number 4. I have made no secret of my dislike for TikTok, but the platform actually did some good this year by getting Mitski her first top 40 hit. My Love, Mine All Mine is a beautiful, simple, gothic country track about asking the moon to take her love and reflect it back onto Earth. It is an anthem of self-love. It's such a simple concept. Nothing in the world belongs to me but my love, mine all mine. Just a powerful lyric that has resonated with so many different people. Mitski has had a very long career, going unnoticed for the longest time, retiring only to come back to her biggest audience yet. I had the pleasure of seeing her perform The Land Is Inhospitable and So Are We live, and she's just a class act. Laurel Hell was a very tight pop record, but it turns out people love her when she's stripped back and as raw as she can be. Number 3. I never thought in my life that Tate McRae, of all people, would make my top 10 list, let alone hit this high. But Greedy is pop perfection. It came out in September. It is my most played song of the year because it's just 2 minutes and 12 seconds long, but every second counts. This song begs for a repeat or 10. 3 verses, 3 choruses, an outro. It's just playful, light. It evokes music of the mid-2000s so well. The music video is just gorgeous. The choreography and effort that Tate has put into her performances sets her up to become a potential main pop girl this decade. She's truly hustling for X's to be her next hit, and I think if she plays her cards right, she's gonna be around for a while. And then it was down to 2. Number 2. 2023 was Taylor Swift's year. Between the Eras Tour breaking records, being named Time's Person of the Year, releasing 2 super successful remakes of classic records, and scoring 2 number 1s, it was really hard picking which song to represent her on this list. It really would have been easy to pick Cruel Summer, but I'm going with Is It Over Now. This brilliant 1989 vault track was such a smash hit that it forced her team to promote it to single status over its sister track Slut. It debuted at number 1. Thematically, it's a continuation of ideas from Out of the Woods, sharing similar themes and production. But it also belongs to the I Wish You Would Cruel Summer school of having a chorus-worthy bridge close out the song. This is a masterwork hiding in the vaults, and probably the best vault track that she's released so far, personally for me. The layers of description and detail, the emotional delivery, Antonoff's stellar sparkling 1980s throwback synths make this such a standout and a classic in my books. I found it as a perfect way to add even more closure to one of the most iconic eras in pop history. Okay, before I reveal my top track, let's quickly talk about these honorable mention songs that should have either been major hits or just missed the list barely. After being held hostage by her label, Ray hit the top 40 with a certified smash as an indie artist, Iconic. Tila's gonna be one to watch. This is one of the most simple, catchy choruses of the year. Okay, who do we have to call to get Chloe Bailey to get a real team, because this is a hit that got away. This one is certified platinum on SoundCloud for the Twinks before Charli XCX's remix took it to the next level. Caroline Polachek continues to be robbed. The original version is a pop masterwork, but the Charli XCX remix is also a gag. I definitely get why Renee Rapp quit that show. I mean, she's one of the most underrated girls this year. Victoria Monet needs to walk out with a Grammy. It's about damn time. Kylie remains one of the few pop legacy acts that has not lost it. We need to stop sleeping on Chappell Roan. Glam pop with some of the darkest lyrics you've ever heard. Expect to see her on the albums list. What can I say? Folk Malone knows how to make a hit, only made better by Posty himself. This was one of my favorite K-pop tracks of the year. Another year of Carly Rae making pop bangers and no one noticing. And cue the drumroll, the number one is a tie. SZA scored her first number one with Kill Bill, a song that dominated the earlier half of this year. This stunning R&B doo-woppy ode to getting even with an ex was inspired by my personal all-time favorite film, Kill Bill. But it's really the relatable, melodramatic lyrics and SZA's cool lullaby-like delivery that makes this song my favorite hit of 2023, or at least one of them. The song starts off as a humorous musing to her therapist before turning into a murder ballad towards the very end. The song's structure is immaculate. My favorite lyrical twist is that final subtle switch from rather be in jail to rather be in hell than alone. It adds such a tragic layer to the song. I think that this one's definitely going to be a staple song for SZA and one of the most enduring hits of 2023. That being said, I also want to give Snooze the number one. This track couldn't be any more different from Kill Bill. It's a testament to the range that she had on SOS. This romantic R&B sleeper hit is SZA at her softest. The verses continue Kill Bill's thorough line of committing violence for love's sake, but that chorus touches on the tenderness of this love that she wants so bad. The bridge itself implies that this is tragically a one-sided love affair with SZA putting way more effort into this love. It recontextualizes the song as a melancholic daydream, a fantasy that she'd do anything to keep alive. Choosing between these two for number one was a nightmare, so I decided to go with both. 2023 had the hits. And that's a wrap. Let me know what your top 10 favorite songs of this year were. I definitely am going to be lurking in these comment sections and listening to all your picks. I want to shout out my members as always. Thank you so much. Thank you to my subscribers as well. Like, subscribe, comment. I thank you all so much for the support as this year closes. I have to say that this channel has been a lifeline to me and the best thing that I have ever had or did this entire year. Stay tuned for my top albums of 2023. Coming soon.